Hello and welcome to another video. This is actually going to be a video on self-love and what does it feel like, and this was requested, or should I say someone commented asking me what does self-love feel like, and they also asked is it selfish. So I'm going to cover these two topics, and they talked a little bit about personal experience that they're very giving to others but they feel they're undeserving, and there's a key word in undeserving, to accept love for themselves. And is that in turn selfish? They feels that by giving them self-love maybe they're being selfish. So I'm going to cover that first. So if you're watching this, I hope this gives you some insight, and I hope it helps you, and I hope it helps someone else out there that might be thinking about the same thing. Now, I have had other people talk to me, and this has been something that's been expressed a few times, that is it selfish? Yeah, that they feel like maybe they're being selfish by loving themselves. And the answer is no. It's quite a clear no. And it's hard. So I'm not saying this is an easy journey, but you can do it, and it's a journey that you can go on. And if you think of love like a bucket, and you've got a certain quantity of love within it, or a wallet, like money, the value, and you've got a certain amount that you can spend. And then you're thinking if you give some to yourself, you haven't got enough to spend on someone else. That bucket, that cup, whatever it is getting emptied because you're giving some to yourself, so you feel you're selfish, that you take it. And it's not so much. The more you give to yourself, the more you can give to others, and the more you can feel it for yourself. And I'll get into the feeling, but the more you can feel it for yourself, the more you can actually give that feeling to others. And that's what it's about, giving to others in a loving, caring way. And if you're already really caring and loving others, then you've got a little inkling on what love feels like. But once you've got that self-love, that real self-value, that self-worth, and know that you deserve it, and you do deserve it, we all do, no matter what's happened, you deserve it. Everyone has the possibility of loving themselves, no matter what they've been through. And when you do, it takes away that judgment, because a lot of people have, even if they think they're unjudging, have a lot of judgments towards others. And that judgment comes in how they give conditions. So what I'd say to you, if you're struggling with this, and if you're busy, you've got lots of other people around, the one special thing about self-love is every spare moment you're with yourself. You haven't got to wait for someone else to turn up. You can't blame someone else if they're late. You're with yourself 24/7. So you have minutes in the day. If your time's really busy and you have got lots of work, you've got kids, or you've got lots that's going on, you've always got time for yourself. It's always there. That can be hard to manage. You've got to manage your own time for yourself. Find moments, and it can be done in short little moments. But it's taking time to reflect. And then moments when you go to distract with food or any form of comfort, technology, phones, whatever it is. It's just to take a moment to breathe. Best is done in nature, but if you can't get out in nature, it's just to stop, put yourself into good posture, put your chest up and just breathe. Just try not to think, just concentrate on that breath. And in them moments, think about how much you deserve to feel what love and self-love could feel like for yourself. And just think about it. And then you'll notice the thoughts come in. Now these thoughts you need to pay attention to. And what you'll notice is one of the strongest feelings that can knock self-love, that just can knock you in any, it's one of the most harmful feelings we can have, is guilt. Now you can be guilty of something in the past. You can be guilty of how you think something's going to turn out. Or you can be guilty in the moment thinking what you're doing is not right. And that's where it comes into what's right to you. And we're all unique, we're all special, we all have our own unique lives. We've never existed before. No one has existed like you before. No one's been through your set of experiences. No one's done what you've done, seen what you've done. So you have something unique there, a unique life that's yours. And you don't need to feel guilt. If you're feeling guilt from your action, maybe it's making you think on which direction to take the action, but you need to try and get rid of that guilt feeling. And again, that breath work, but more about realizing that if you're trying, that's what's key, is if you're trying something, because you know it's right, and you do feel it within, it's an inwards feeling. Some people say in the gut, I like with the chest. It's from here, where if you're sunken in, that's because you're not going with your feelings, you're not acting through the heart. When we act through the heart, our chest is up, we're proud. We're strong, we're direct. You always think of like a bar or an arrow coming out your chest. That should always be straight. If it's pointing down, your directions are off, and your direction should be forward. You should be progressing forwards. Yeah, so always go for a walk, always think about the arrow coming out, and project with your heart. Yeah, and project, if you're being honest to yourself. Yeah, you may later find out the decision you did didn't turn out how you wanted it to, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, if you tried, if you knew back then, you wouldn't have done it, but you didn't. And it's knowing our mistakes aren't mistakes, but lessons, and finding the value, finding what we learned in what went wrong. Because externally, we clearly don't have full control out of everything in our world. Yeah? But we have some control inwards, and we can grow that control. You can get more of a handle on it and direct yourself to where you need to go, and not make the same mistakes, not have the same outcomes. So you're constantly getting the same outcome of what you've done before. Really make a change. Really do something different for yourself, and do it with compassion. Do it with love. Yeah. Now, the feeling of self-love, an experience is very hard to share with someone what an experience feels like. If I was trying to, if I explain what guilt feels like, what fear feels like, what worry feels like, we can all relate. We've all felt them feeling so strong. When you try and explain what self-love feels like, it can seem so foreign to many because they haven't felt it, and if they have, it's been in a long time. Like if you used to concentrate right now and think, when was the last time you felt love from someone else? Genuine, honest love. What did that feel like? When was it? How long ago? Do you think you never felt it? Yeah? These are questions you need to ask yourself, and it's not bad. Don't beat yourself down. Encourage yourself that you're thinking about something so important for yourself. Yeah? And encourage yourself that you're doing a good job just by thinking about it. It's by keeping that mind frame running in not so much positivity, but in goodwill, good intention, honesty, keeping these thoughts flowing. Yeah? If I was to explain what it feels like, I'd go backwards for you now. I'm going to go back a couple years ago when I first started to feel self-love. I was doing practices. I've always worked on myself health-wise, gone to gym, tried to eat the best I could, do all different things to be healthy and look after myself. But I didn't just do it for myself. I did it because I thought I had responsibilities, other people to take care of, my mum, my partner, my brother, my sister, my dad, everyone I wanted to take care of. Yeah? And until I took care of everyone, and when one day all my stresses were gone and I have managed to fix every single problem, then I can smile, then I can be happy, then I can be satisfied, then I can start loving and taking care of myself. Yeah, I set so many conditions. Yeah? My body had to look a certain way. I had to be able to do certain things. I had to be in a certain position career-wise. I had to be in a certain position mentally. All these things, there was just condition after condition that I'd set myself, that I was acceptant to. I will feel good when these things are done. Yeah? And that was a condition I set. And it's not a true condition, and it's a condition that a lot of us set, is that we have to have things settled, things fixed, everything done, zero stress. Then of course we'll feel good. And if you've seen other videos of mine, my life's been one of a few stresses. Yeah, and I managed to do this while my partner was very sick. Yeah, I managed to do this while my mum was very sick. While I was separated from my family, from the people I love, from my friends. Yeah, and I managed to achieve this in a state that I thought wasn't technically possible many years ago. But by following through on practices, by breathing, by meditating, by exercising, by taking care of my spine, and by cleaning my food. Eating healthy foods and less food. A lot less food than I used to eat. I used to eat about 8 meals a day. Each one contained an animal protein. Now I eat once a day, and I don't eat any animals anymore. Yeah, I'm not recommending anyone else follow what I do. I'm just telling you what I do, and maybe this contributed to how I feel. So maybe if you're not getting the results you want, maybe try some of these things. You have to read my disclaimer. This isn't medical advice. I'm going on personal experience, personal perception. Yeah? And one thing we can take with our past events is that you can't go back and change how something's happened. So if you're struggling with a guilt, if you're holding on to a real strong guilt of something in the past, something that's happened, what you need to focus on is the perception. The event happened, but your perception can change. How you look at that event, how you feel about that event, and what you took from it can change. So it's all about looking for what made you who you are today from that event. You may not realize it could have been something really bad. I actually reconnected with my friend's family, of my friend that passed away. I lost connection with him when my partner got ill and I had to go to another country, and I lost connection with a lot of friends, and everything went a bit crazy. and I reconnected with them only yesterday, which was great. So happy to hear from them. And it's about being able to change that perception, and I was able to share with them my story on how I developed with the passing of their son and their brother. Yeah, they said the words I shared online just touched them so much, which made me feel good, but wasn't my intention. I didn't do it for them. I just did it because it was true to myself, and it helped them, and they liked it. Yeah? But at the time, I didn't see his death in that way. It took time to process, and now I look back at it with joy. Not happy that he died, but I can't change that he did. But I can change how I feel and what I took from that event. It changed my perception of that event. Be happy that I learned and took something very valuable from that. To honour him, to honour myself, and to be living and projecting outwards that value, that worth that you took from the experience. You're sharing that with others. So if you've had something that you're holding on to guilt, and meditation will help bring these things very quickly to your mind. If you're struggling to sit down and just breathe, it's normally because something's there that's nagging at you, and you take action to whatever's nagging at you. Yeah, and that action sometimes is just a change of perception. It's not that you have to go out and do anything in the external world. It's something that has to be taken care of within you, and you take care of that inwards by changing the perception. Just look for something of value in it. And I said 2 years ago I went through a bit of a, not relapse, but it's the first time I felt self-love. I felt like, best way I could explain it is like a helium balloon. I felt light. I felt like I was floating about. I felt giddy. I felt just warm. It's very hard to explain. And I just felt like, not gonna explode, but you just feel good. It's the only way you can explain it. It feels good. Better than anything you can explain. Then within 2 months, bam, it got knocked out. Yeah, there was a few misspoken words between me and my partner. Me and my brother had a few misspoken words on the phone. He was having a hard time, and all these things, these stresses, they just knocked me straight off. They popped my balloon, just bang, and I just got knocked down. And within that instant, it felt like someone hit me with a baseball bat right across the middle of my back. Yeah, pain that I had before that I didn't realise had gone was instantly back. Yeah, and I was slightly satisfied because I was like, wow, just the change in how I'm thinking and interacting gave me a physical pain in my back, the one that I had for a long time, that I didn't realise was gone, is back instantly. And I was quite excited, yeah, because I knew that I could change this, because I had just changed it. So I was like, I need to just continue what I'm doing. I need to really put extra effort into the breathing now. I need to go, and I reset it again. Yeah, it took more work, not more work, but more work than I was doing in that day. Yeah, I just went a bit harder on all the practices, the self-love, the breathing, the meditating, and within no time, I started to feel like my helium was being pumped back in. It's now been a couple of years later, and I feel even stronger. I feel like I've got more helium in that balloon, yeah, and I'm floating a little bit higher, and I'm a bit harder, to pop. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, not by any means, but I'm better than I was, and that's all I know for myself. Yeah, that you can be better than you was. Especially sometimes I spend a lot of time thinking, I wish I felt like I did at this point. Like the best moment that I felt like I felt, and I was like, if I could go back to feel like that. Not so much thinking, I could feel better than that. There's no point going backwards, I'm going to go forwards. Someone else, I try and say it in a kind way, but I'll do what I feel right and speak up for myself and say, look, this is how it is for me. I feel this is right for me right now. I'm sorry if this doesn't set right with you. But I'm doing this or I'm doing that, whatever it is. Yeah, and that feels more comfortable. Rather than compromising or settling. You know, you don't want to upset people, you don't want to attack people, you don't want to irritate them, but you've got to do what's right for you. Yeah, and it's living from your heart. But I'm not sure how else I can explain what it feels like. All I can say is try the practices, spend time on yourself. Like I said, do some breathing. You need to try and find out what you feel guilty about. Yeah, make that become peaceful by changing your perception on that. And you change your perception by thinking, what value can you take from that event that happened? A lot of people bottle up things, or they lock it in a safe far away in the back of their mind, never to look at it again. And I'm saying you need to look at these things to change the perception of them. Unlock that box, uncork the bottle, pop it right off and let it out. And do that through meditation and breathing, and focus on how has that made you who you are in this moment, and how could you find something within there that's valuable to give to someone else? How can you serve someone else with that value? Yeah, whether it's a friend, family, your children, you just don't want them to learn or have to go through a certain process to find out what you found out. So you can give that to them. And it's not whether they take it. You giving it, you know you tried, you know you did your best, even if it doesn't work out for them, you know, so you can be settled in, you don't feel guilty that you didn't do what you could do in the moment. So practice that, practice breathing. If you haven't got time, 5 minutes a day, 1 minute, 10 times a day is better than nothing. That's 10 whole minutes in a day. And you add up over the month and you're suddenly done about 300 minutes of breathing work. Like I said, just take a breath. Just take a breath and relax. No technology, no phones, no music. If you can get out in nature, so good. Go for a 30-minute walk. Yeah, and just think about yourself and how much you need to be so powerful so you can serve others better. If you're already serving others, if you already enjoy serving others, make yourself more powerful. Give yourself more voltage, more fuel, more energy. Yeah, and people will see it in you and people will love it in you. They'll see you loving and they'll want to be more like it. They'll try and ask you, what's changed? Why are you feeling so good? Apologies if it's getting a little dark now. The sun has just set and I was adamant I'd get this video up today. So I'm going to edit it now and upload it. Currently in a location that has really bad reception, so it may take me a little while, but it will be up very soon. So I hope this gives you some insight into your question of what it feels like. And yeah, drop a comment, let me know if this is helpful, let me know if there's something a bit more that you want me to touch on. Let me know what you got from the video. And anyone else, let me know what you want to hear, what you want to know, what your life's like. Just even drop location, where you at. I'm really interested where my viewers are. Alright, have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video.